his weakest area in the fight is his wrestling.
Yeah.
Now he doesn't go about taking guys down with, blast doubles from the outside or anything like that. Anyways, he's normally getting into a body lock situation and then using, some leverage, some trips, some things that he's doing. He's blocking the leg. He's bringing them backside. All smart, all good. But if you're going to say what is his weakest area in the fight, I'm going to say it's his wrestling. He's actually got a fairly good submission game. He can go after a variety of submissions. He's got good top pressure when he is on top of someone on the ground. He moves his hips well. Obviously, his stand-up is very good. He's elusive. He moves well. He's got good footwork. He's got good power in his hands. The one area, if you're going to say, well, this is his weakest area, would be his wrestling. And it's the one area when you're fighting Ngannou that you're going, that's the one I want to be strong, because I want to take a guy like Ngannou and take away what is his power, man. It's the one thing when you're fighting him. It's what, when you watch Stipe the first time that he beat him, that's what he did. He took away his power by putting him on his back, took away, the danger. He's an average fighter then, and he's tough. He'll go, but he doesn't have submissions. He's not going to hurt you from, on his back. And so the one area, and this is where, if Ciryl Gane was a great wrestler, I said, this is Ciryl Gane's fight. He's not. And we've seen what Ngannou can do with the power that he has. He's gotten better with his wrestling defense, which only makes it more interesting as far as the combination of this fight. That's why this is just a barn burner when you're looking at it. Everything that there was, the fact that they were training partners, the fact that there is some controversy with the ex-coach, which I don't give a shit about the coach anyways, but there's controversy there. Okay, great. All those things, everything, the undefeated record of Gane, which means nothing, but it's great, but you're only undefeated until you get into that one where now you're not. And then the power of Francis, the absolute beautiful movement and, the agility of a guy as big as Ciryl Gane and what he does. This is a fun heavyweight matchup. This is an interesting fight, and I understand why it's garnering all this attention.
Yeah, because there's so many different ways it can play out. But that's heavyweights, though, John.
Yeah,
that's not
true.
just this
That's
fight. That's just heavyweights. Because at any moment, either one of these guys can knock each other out. I would say, obviously, Francis has the power that to decapitate
to do that
anybody,
more.
To do that more. But I mean, Gane can do the same thing as well.
Sure.
He could clip
Big,
him, he
strong
could
guy.
hit him with punches and bunches, and eventually get him out of there as well. There's ways to do it. In heavyweights, you never know what's going to happen. That's what makes them so much fun to watch. Is it could all end in the blink of an eye. It could be a boring snooze fest all the way up until the last 30 seconds or 10 seconds, and the fight could be over, as we saw with Derek Lewis and Volkov. It could be one of those type of fights where what makes it interesting to me is that I want to know, is Francis Ngannou going to come out and fight with emotion on his sleeve? Is he going to be the somebody that says, you know what, I've got so much stress on me because of all the shit that I'm going through with the UFC, all the shit I've dealt with Dana. Let that play in his mind. Is he going to go out there and carry that into the cage and affect his performance? That's what people need to be concerned about. If I'm someone who is betting on this fight, I'm really playing that in my mind going, is he mentally all there? Is he gonna carry all that garbage and that luggage in the cage with him? And is Gane gonna walk in going, I got nothing to lose. I'm 10-0. Sure. I mean, I can lose my okay. But that, no one ever thought I'd be here this soon and this quick and this fast.
True.
And to top off what Francis had said as well, he's like, look, if you look at who he's fought, sure, he's 10-0, but he hasn't fought anybody of the caliber that I fought, which is very true.
Well, not quite. Look, he's fought some good fighters, and he's fought some of the same fighters that Francis has fought, But if you're looking at overall quality, yes, I'll give that Francis has fought better quality overall. But it's that's you can't say anything about Ciryl Gane has fought everyone that they've put in front of him. There you go.
Yeah, but when you're talking about in comparison to like the levels of competition as well as the inside the cage inexperience, France got that higher level of competition as well as the more I wouldn't say more rounds because I don't know if that might even be true.
I looked that up. There's not a whole lot.
You looked up the average, right? The average was what? Two and a half minutes.
Out of he's got 11 fights that have not gone the distance overall in the UFC. Okay, not his previous fights, but in the UFC, he's got 11 stoppages. 1 is a submission. I did that fight. Of course, the only fight he gets a submission is the one that I did. And I actually,
be happy with that. Something
no,
to
it's
brag
funny
about.
because at the time, I'd watched him and he was this, guy that was decapitating people. And then he gets a Kimura and I looked at him and I said, so when I get to referee, you decide to become a submission. And he's laughing, right? But it was, but he's got an average. If you're taking a look at the 10 knockouts that he has, an average of 2 minutes and 40 seconds for all 10 of those fights. Now, some of those are 20-some second fights, and like Curtis Blades, the first time he fought him, it was stopped after the end of the second round, so that's 10 minutes of fighting, but an average of 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Pretty impressive.
And then you take the Rosenstruck fight, which is what, 28 seconds or 20 seconds?
Yep.
Yeah, 20 seconds, yeah.
Yeah.
He's just a
Rosenstruck
savage.
was 20-some seconds. Cain Velasquez was 20-some seconds. So.
Do you look at this fight a little bit how I kind of look at the Dawkins and Derek Lewis fight? Dawkins needs to stick and move, stand on the, and not get hit. And don't get me wrong, I think Gane is a better athlete than Dawkins. But when it comes to like ability of striking and that type of talent, I look at Gane almost like an Anthony Joshua lives off of his ability of being an athlete.
Yes.
Like that's it. Like he's not a super great technician. He doesn't possess a ton of power. I look at it. I'm like, Francis Ngannou has been tried and tested. He's gotten better, like you said, in terms of his wrestling. He possesses the power to starch anybody. And if you look at the way Dawkins and Derek Lewis fought, Francis just got to be patient, move his head off the line every time Gane throws punches, and then counter off of that. And if he's able to catch him off the counter when his arms are extended, we can see that overeem decapitation in the back of his head touching his spinal cord down by his ass. Like you can see that type of material. That's scary to me.
It's funny because you brought up the whole thing. How much baggage is Francis going to walk into that cage with? You would hope, hey, I get rid of that when I walk in here. And he's got the right coaching staff and he's got great guys around him. So I'm hoping that is. You have the whole thing with he's got the contract, issues with the UFC and stuff, and he's talking about wanting to box and all these things. And look at all of them. You can sit there and go, yeah, he could walk in there and he can be a mental midget. He could be just a mess walking in there. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but it's possible. And then I take a look and, I've talked with Eric Nixick, who is his coach, and we, gone over things. And if there's things about Ciryl Gane, if you watch him and you study what he does, he's got patterns. There's things that he does, and he does them over and over. And when he does a specific movement, you know where he's going to go. If I can see that, I know Eric Nixick can see it.
Yeah.
And I know that he's talked to Francis about it. And those are the things that when you're looking, you're going, man, look, if he catches them in this little transition that he tends to like to go to all the time, he's going to eat it. With the power that he has, he can end that fight really quick. So there's so many aspects that you look and you go, this is just a fun fight overall.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot at stake, especially with the video footage of the practice coming out and the coaching thing and all that. I mean, but John, that does play a factor in terms of how much Francis carries that as weight into the cage. Like, is he going to let that emotion get to him? Like, hey, you put the fucking video out of us practicing. That's garbage. Like, people carry that type of shit with them. Francis seems like a very stoic person when he walks around. He seems like a very nice person, by the way. Yeah. But he seems very stoic when he walks, when he walks through with the fighters and he carries himself in a very, uplifting way. Does he let things like that get to him though, once he steps inside that cage, or is it just another fight? I don't know. That's what concerns me. If I'm a betting man, which my dumb ass is sometimes, okay, when it comes down to this type of stuff, John, it's a scary position to be thinking about, because how much money do you really want to put on somebody who is fighting with the UFC president? He's arguing with him. He's dealing with this contract shit. Now there's a video being put out. You've got this young kid who's 10-0. Everyone's talking about how good he is, how he could beat me, how he sticks and moves, how talented he is. You letting that get under your skin.
Well, you're right. It's all on one side.
Yeah.
It's all over there in Francis's corner. And if you're looking at Gane, here's a guy coming in, like you said, he's got nothing to lose. Yeah. He really doesn't.
He's got the O. That's it.
So what?
And that's just a learning experience.
Exactly. You're just going to become a better fighter when it happens.
Yep.
So
I agree.
I don't know. It's all about up here. Between those years, what's going on in Francis's head?
100% agree.